The 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin is not just a piece of currency. It is a symbol of history, perseverance, and the fight for equality. Struck in Philadelphia, denoted by the P mint mark, this coin carries a legacy of Susan B. Anthony, one of America's most iconic figures in the women's suffrage movement. While millions of these coins were minted, certain specimens have achieved near-mythical status among collectors due to their condition, rarity, and historical significance. For those fortunate enough to possess a pristine copy, it isn't just a coin. It is a key to a potential fortune that could reshape lives overnight. What makes the 1979 piece Susan B. Anthony dollar truly extraordinary is the delicate balance between its historic context and its numismatic rarity. Unlike other coins of the era, the Anthony dollar had a brief production run with very specific minting qualities that collectors obsess over. Coins that exhibit perfect luster, sharp strike detail, and no signs were incredibly scarce. Even subtle differences in the rim, the date, or the mint mark can cause the value to skyrocket, making certain coins worth hundreds of thousands, or in rare instances, even millions to the right buyer. Collectors often marvel at the artistry embedded in the coin. On the obverse, the dignified portrait of Susan B. Anthony captures her determination, etched with incredible precision that reflects the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint in the late 1970s. On the reverse, the soaring eagle, clutching the olive branch and arrows, speaks to America's enduring strength and resilience. It's a design that resonates not just with coin enthusiasts, but with anyone who appreciates history, symbolism, and the beauty of American currency. Beyond aesthetics, the 1979 piece Susan B. Anthony dollar holds immense investment potential. Over the decades, rare coins like this have consistently proven to appreciate far beyond traditional assets. Unlike stocks or real estate, a well-preserved Anthony dollar is a tangible piece of history that cannot be replicated. Its value is driven by scarcity, demand, and the story it carries. In today's market, a coin in flawless condition can fetch astronomical sums, offering collectors and investors a chance to turn a small piece of metal into life-changing wealth. The thrill of owning one of these coins lies in its rarity. Most circulated Anthony dollars show wear, scratches, and tarnish that diminish their appeal. But an untouched 1979 P in mint condition is a treasure beyond imagination. Imagine holding in your hand the very coin that has the potential to make you a millionaire overnight. Each glance at the gleaming surface, each reflection of light on its finely detailed edges, reminds you that history and fortune can come together in one small, yet immensely powerful object. Stories of collectors who stumbled upon high-grade Anthony dollars are the stuff of legend. There are accounts of coins found in old wallets, forgotten collections, or estate sales that ended up selling for sums that seemed impossible just years before. The coin's power lies not just in its metal or design, but in the human fascination with rarity, legacy, and the potential for sudden wealth. For anyone who dreams of a transformative discovery, the 1979 piece Susan B. Anthony dollar embodies that dream in tangible form. Understanding the market for these coins is essential. Prices fluctuate based on condition, provenance, and grading, but the most pristine examples, certified by professional grading companies, regularly achieve multi-million-dollar figures in private sales. For collectors, the competition is fierce, as museums, private investors, and passionate enthusiasts vie for the few remaining untouched specimens. Each coin is a ticket into an exclusive world where history, beauty, and extreme wealth intersect. The allure is also psychological. Owning a 1979 P. Anthony dollar is not merely about financial gain. It's about connection to a pivotal moment in American history. Susan B. Anthony's legacy as a trailblazer for women's rights imbues the coin with emotional value that cannot be measured in dollars alone. It represents courage, progress, and the timeless idea that a single individual can make an enormous difference, just as a single coin can make an unimaginable impact on a collector's fortune. Collectors often become lifelong students of Anthony dollars, studying minute details that separate a high-value coin from an ordinary one. The sharpness of the relief, the clarity of the date, and the quality of the strike all contribute to the coin's ultimate value. Owning such a coin becomes a badge of honor, a symbol of refined taste and historical awareness, and in some cases, a once-in-a-lifetime financial opportunity that defies conventional investment strategies. Finally, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar is a reminder that treasure often lies in the overlooked. Millions pass it by as ordinary change, unaware of the fortune that could be held in their hands. Today, those who recognize its worth, who protect and cherish it, can experience not only financial reward, but the joy of owning a piece of history that carries the power to change lives overnight. This coin is more than silver. It is legend, opportunity, and a testament to the enduring value of looking closely, thinking deeply, and appreciating the extraordinary hidden in the ordinary. Imagine holding a small piece of history in the palm of your hand, a coin that seems ordinary at first glance, but carries the silent power to turn fortunes overnight. The 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar, minted in Philadelphia, is one of those rare treasures that whispers stories of America's past while hinting at unimaginable wealth for those who recognize its true value. To the casual observer, it's just a silver-toned coin depicting the determined face of Susan B. Anthony, a pioneer for women's rights. But to the collector, this coin is a gateway to a financial dream that could redefine your life in ways you never imagined. The charm of the 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar lies not just in its silver-like sheen, but in the story it tells. Susan B. Anthony, whose legacy is immortalized on the obverse of the coin, was a figure whose courage reshaped the nation's understanding of equality. Having her image on currency was revolutionary, making this coin a historical icon, a testament to progress, and a collectible piece that embodies the spirit of a generation striving for justice. It's more than money. It's a narrative of bravery frozen in metal. What truly sets the 1980 mint mark coin apart is its scarcity in pristine, high-grade condition. Millions of these coins were minted, yes, but few have survived the decades without the slightest wear or imperfection. Every tiny scratch or mark reduces its value exponentially, which means that coins preserved in uncirculated condition are pure gold to collectors. Imagine possessing a coin so rare that its value could soar into the hundreds of thousands, or even millions, if sold to the right collector at the right time. The minting of this coin at the Philadelphia Mint adds another layer of intrigue. Philadelphia, known for producing coins with a rich historical pedigree, imbues each piece with an authenticity that collectors prize. The P mint mark signifies a standard quality, a subtle stamp that elevates the coin above its more common counterparts. In the world of coin collecting, this tiny letter holds enormous significance, acting as a key to unlock potential wealth. Silver might not flow through this particular coin, but its color, weight, and composition trick the eye, giving an aura of precious metal. Collectors are drawn to the 1980 Anthony dollar, not just for its historical resonance, but for the thrill of holding something that feels like treasure. It's the perfect intersection of history, artistry, and investment potential, an irresistible combination for anyone who dreams of turning a modest collectible into a life-altering windfall. Owning a 1980 Susan B. Anthony P. dollar is like holding a time capsule of ambition and change. The coin's design, featuring Anthony's resolute gaze and the eagle on the reverse, is a masterpiece of symbolism. The eagle, clutching an olive branch, signifies peace, strength, and freedom, an unspoken promise that the coin is more than metal. It's a bearer of opportunity. To collectors, this dual symbolism amplifies its allure and drives demand in a way few coins can rival. The market for these coins is fiercely competitive, with enthusiasts around the world seeking the perfect specimen. Some may pay exorbitant prices simply for a coin that remains untouched, immaculate, and uncirculated. The thrill of the chase adds a layer of excitement, turning what might seem like a small investment into a gamble that could yield unimaginable returns. In today's market, a perfect 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar can fetch eye-popping sums, making early acquisition not just wise, but potentially transformative. Beyond the financial potential, owning this coin grants entry into a world of prestige and respect among numismatists. Displaying a pristine 1980 Anthony dollar in your collection signals knowledge, taste, and foresight. It's a badge of honor for anyone passionate about coins and history alike. Every glance at this coin reminds you that you are a caretaker of both wealth and heritage, a rare privilege that adds an intangible value far beyond dollars and cents. The cautionary tale is simple: never undervalue what you hold. Many coins like this have quietly passed through hands, sold cheaply to those unaware of their power. A 1980p Susan B. Anthony dollar can change fortunes overnight, but only if it is preserved and recognized for what it truly is. Treat it with care, store in protective casing, and never let impatience drive a decision. This coin is a sleeping giant, waiting for the right moment to awaken its true potential. Finally, imagine the thrill of discovering this coin tucked away in a forgotten drawer or inherited collection, knowing it could catapult you into a realm of unimaginable wealth. Every collector dreams of this moment, the instant when history, rarity, and value collide in a single, shining artifact. The 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar from Philadelphia is not merely a coin. It's a story, a treasure, and for those who understand, a ticket to a fortune that can indeed change your life forever. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar coin is not just a piece of currency. It is a slice of history minted in silver tones that captures the spirit of one of America's most legendary activists. While most see it as a small, unassuming coin, collectors and numismatists know it as a treasure that can reshape fortunes overnight. Its story begins with the woman it immortalizes, Susan B. Anthony, a fearless crusader for women's suffrage, whose face on the coin symbolizes decades of relentless struggle and triumph. Holding this coin is like holding a whispered history, a tangible connection to the fight for equality that still resonates today. The year 1979 was a pivotal moment in the Susan B. Anthony coin series. The Philadelphia Mint, denoted by the mint mark P, produced some of the rarest coins in circulation during this year. While millions were minted, certain uncirculated specimens survived the decades in pristine condition, untouched by the friction of hands and the wear of commerce. These coins are now the crown jewels for collectors, because a combination of age, rarity, and historical importance makes them incredibly valuable. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1979 Anthony dollar is its composition and design. Struck in a copper nickel clad rather than pure silver, the coin's shimmering finish and intricate detailing give a unique allure. Anthony's stern but dignified profile dominates the obverse, while the reverse features an eagle in flight, carrying the shield of the United States. The artistry is subtle but powerful, a reminder that every curve and line on a coin has a story to tell. For collectors, condition is everything. A 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar in mint state, particularly from the Philadelphia Mint, can fetch prices that seem almost unimaginable. Coins graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services have skyrocketed in value, sometimes reaching hundreds of thousands of dollars in private auctions, depending on their provenance and demand. These are not coins to spend casually. They are investments capable of reshaping wealth overnight. The rarity of this coin is intensified by the errors and varieties that occasionally appear. Misstrikes, double dies, and off-center minting from 1979 are the holy grail for numismatists. While many collectors overlook these subtle imperfections, those who understand their significance recognize them as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Such coins are capable of commanding six-figure sums at auction, making even a single discovery a life-changing event. Collectors are drawn not only to the rarity, but also to the history behind the minting process. The Philadelphia Mint in 1979 was a bustling hub of production, and every coin that emerged bore witness to the precision and care of skilled craftsmen. Each coin carries microscopic traces of this human touch, tiny ridges, perfectly aligned letters, and the faint echo of the dies used to strike them. These details make the coin more than a currency. It becomes a work of art frozen in metal. The demand for the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar has grown steadily over the decades. Unlike modern coins, which are produced in overwhelming quantities, these coins are finite. Each one is a survivor of time, a witness to the era in which it was minted. Collectors across the globe seek them out, sometimes paying sums that would make the casual observer gasp. The coin's value is not just in its metal or its face, but in its story, its rarity, and its significance as a symbol of perseverance. Investment potential is another crucial factor. Unlike stocks or bonds, a coin like the 1979 Anthony dollar has intrinsic beauty and historical significance. Its value is independent of market fluctuations, and unlike paper assets, it cannot vanish overnight. For someone lucky enough to acquire a high-grade specimen, this coin is a ticket to unimaginable financial freedom, a tangible asset that appreciates with both time and desire. The thrill of owning such a coin is unlike any other. Imagine holding a small, unassuming piece of metal that could potentially change your life. The weight in your hand is heavier than its physical mass. It carries the weight of history, the prestige of rarity, and the promise of fortune. Every glance at it is a reminder that sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest power. Auction houses have seen this coin set records multiple times. A single 1979p in flawless condition can command bids in the high six figures, especially when it comes with certification from trusted grading authorities. The provenance, the story of ownership, and the coin's journey through decades of careful preservation all contribute to its staggering value. This is not just a collectible. It is a legend in metal. Collectors often obsess over details that might seem minor to others. The sharpness of Anthony's hair, the clarity of the eagle's wings, the alignment of the date and mint mark. All of these elements are scrutinized under magnification. A coin that is slightly off in any of these respects may be worth a fraction of its perfect counterpart. Precision, patience, and knowledge are the tools that turn ordinary collectors into masters of the numismatic world. The 1979 Anthony dollar is also notable for its place in the broader coin series. The series itself was revolutionary, being the first circulating U.S. dollar coin to feature a woman. Susan B. Anthony's inclusion on currency was more than a nod to history. It was a statement about the enduring fight for equality. Owning this coin is therefore both a financial and cultural triumph, a way to celebrate progress while holding a tangible piece of it. Some of the most valuable coins have emerged from private collections, discovered in hidden drawers or forgotten coin jars. Stories abound of people who stumbled upon a 1979p Anthony dollar in near-perfect condition and were suddenly thrust into a world of wealth they had never imagined. These stories fuel the mystique of the coin, turning every purchase or discovery into a potential fairy tale of fortune. The 1979 coin's appeal is not limited to the U.S. Either novice or seasoned collectors from Europe, Asia, and beyond are drawn to it, seeking to add this piece of American history to their own collections. International demand has contributed to a steady increase in its market value, as the coin has become not only a symbol of American heritage, but also a global treasure. Market trends indicate that high-grade 1979p Anthony dollars are appreciating faster than most conventional investments. Unlike fleeting commodities, these coins retain both historical and aesthetic value. The sense of scarcity, combined with a growing interest in numismatics, ensures that every new generation of collectors will fight to own this iconic coin. It is a rare blend of beauty, history, and financial potential that few other collectibles can match. For those fortunate enough to own one, care is paramount. Handling should be minimal, ideally with gloves, and storage must protect against moisture, temperature fluctuations, and physical damage. The smallest scratch can diminish a coin's value by thousands, making careful preservation as critical as acquisition. Owning a 1979p Anthony dollar is a responsibility as much as it is a privilege. The coin story resonates far beyond its metal. It serves as a reminder that history, activism, and artistry can coexist in something as small as a coin. Every glance at its surface is a meditation on progress, a reflection on the struggles that led to Susan B. Anthony's legacy, and a contemplation of the value of perseverance, both in life and in collecting. Collectors often experience a sense of awe when encountering the perfect 1979p Anthony dollar. It is a moment that blends excitement with reverence, the realization that they are touching a rare artifact that has survived decades, perhaps even a half-century, without losing its integrity. It is a tangible connection to a past that continues to inspire. Some of the most eye-catching specimens show exceptional luster and sharpness, often described by collectors as eye-appealing or pristine. These coins are the pinnacle of the series, commanding the attention of seasoned collectors and investors alike. When one of these coins appears on the market, the frenzy it generates can be electrifying, as buyers recognize an opportunity few will ever encounter. Ultimately, the 1979 Philadelphia Mint Susan B. Anthony dollar is more than just a coin. It is a symbol, an investment, and a work of art. It embodies history, activism, and the extraordinary potential of the small and overlooked. To hold one is to touch history and hold a promise of fortune. For those who recognize its value, it is a rare gem capable of transforming lives, a quiet powerhouse that whispers its significance to those who listen. In the end, this coin reminds us that some of the most powerful treasures are hidden in plain sight. The 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar is a testament to endurance, beauty, and possibility. It is a coin that, if preserved and cherished, can deliver not just wealth but a legacy, a connection to history, a celebration of progress, and a lifelong testament to the magic of numismatics. Owning it is owning a dream, a fortune, and a story that continues to unfold. The 1943 Liberty Jefferson 5-cent coin was born in a moment when the world itself was at war, when metal was no longer just metal but a weapon, a resource, a necessity. This coin did not come from luxury or abundance. It came from sacrifice. In 1943, nickel was urgently needed for tanks, weapons, and military equipment. So the United States changed history by altering the very soul of its 5-cent coin. That decision alone turned the 1943 Jefferson Wartime Nickel into a permanent symbol of crisis, courage, and change. Unlike regular nickels, the 1943 Jefferson Wartime coin was struck in a unique silver-based alloy, containing silver mixed with copper and manganese. This was the only time in U.S. history that the 5-cent coin carried real silver in this way. The coin feels different, sounds different, and ages differently. When you hold one, you are not holding pocket change. You are holding a fragment of World War II itself, a silent witness to one of humanity's most dangerous chapters. The Philadelphia Mint, marked by the bold P above Monticello, played a critical role in this transformation. This mint mark was not small or hidden. It was intentionally large and proud, signaling a break from tradition. For the first time ever, a P mint mark appeared on a U.S. coin, making the 1943 P. Wartime Jefferson Nickel historically groundbreaking even before value enters the conversation. Many people whisper legends about this coin being worth millions, capable of turning an ordinary person into a billionaire overnight. The truth is more grounded, but no less fascinating. A standard 1943 P. Wartime Nickel in circulated condition is not worth millions, but its real power lies in rarity combinations, condition, and errors. Coins struck during wartime are produced under pressure, and pressure creates mistakes. Mistakes collectors obsess over. Some 1943 P. Wartime Nickels exist with extraordinary mint errors. Off-metal strikes, dramatic die cracks, double dies, or planchet anomalies. These are the coins that rise far above ordinary value. When perfectly preserved and authenticated, such error coins can sell for astonishing sums, sometimes reaching tens of thousands of dollars, and in extreme museum-grade cases, even more. Not fantasy millions, but still life-changing for the right coin. What truly elevates the 1943 P. Wartime Nickel is condition. Coins graded at the highest mint state levels become rare survivors. Most were heavily circulated during the war years, passed from hand to hand in factories, stores, and military towns. Finding one that looks untouched by time is like finding a soldier who walked through the war without a scratch. This coin also carries emotional value that money cannot measure. It jingled in the pockets of workers building aircraft, in the hands of mothers buying ration food, and in the gloves of soldiers on leave. Every scratch tells a story. Every worn edge speaks of movement, urgency, and survival. That human history is why collectors chase it relentlessly. The silver content itself gives a coin intrinsic value, but silver alone is not what makes it special. Millions of coins contain silver. Very few carry a wartime identity so clearly stamped into their design and composition. The 1943 P. Jefferson Nickel is not just silver, it is symbolism minted in metal. People often make the mistake of rushing to sell such coins cheaply, driven by rumors or half-truths. That is where fortunes are lost, not because the coin was worthless, but because patience was missing. Authentication, grading, and understanding the exact variant of your coin matter more than excitement or fear. If you ever find a 1943 P. Wartime Jefferson Nickel, the smartest move is not to believe every viral story, but also not to dismiss it as ordinary. It deserves respect, study, and professional evaluation. Coins like this reward knowledge, not haste. The real magic of this coin is not that it promises instant billions, but that it connects the present to a moment when the world held its breath. Its value grows with time because history does not fade, it deepens. As collectors continue to honor World War II artifacts, coins like this quietly rise in importance. In the end, the 1943 Liberty Jefferson Wartime Nickel is a reminder that true wealth is not always loud. Sometimes it sits silently in a drawer, waiting for someone wise enough to understand what they are holding. Not a miracle lottery ticket, but a powerful, historic asset that rewards those who treat it with patience, respect, and intelligence. The Liberty Wartime Jefferson Nickel from 1944 with the P Mint mark is not just a small 5-cent coin. It is a survivor of chaos, pressure, and history forged during World War II when the world itself was burning. This coin was born in an era where metal was more valuable than paper promises, and every piece struck carried the weight of a nation at war, making it one of the most emotionally powerful coins ever produced in the United States. What makes the 1944 P. Jefferson Nickel feel mysterious is that it does not behave like a normal coin. It carries silver in its body, a silent rebellion against the copper and nickel shortages of wartime America. This was a moment when money stopped being ordinary and started becoming strategic, and that decision alone elevated this coin into a different class of collectability that still fascinates people today. Collectors whisper about this coin because some examples appear so perfect, so untouched by time, that they feel almost unreal. These are the kinds of coins that never entered circulation, never paid for bread or fuel, and instead slept quietly for decades, waiting for the right moment to reveal their true power in the collector world. The P Mint mark above Monticello is not just a letter, it is a signal. It tells a story of Philadelphia striking coins under wartime urgency, using an unusual metal mix, and leaving behind varieties that were never meant to be rare, but accidentally became legendary. When rarity meets history, value doesn't rise slowly, it explodes. There are stories of specific wartime Jefferson nickels that show striking anomalies, metal flow mysteries, and surface characteristics so unusual that experts stop and stare. These are the coins that don't follow price guides, because they live outside normal rules. When a coin becomes a conversation piece among elite collectors, money stops being the limit. The idea that a 5-cent coin could transform a life overnight is not born from fantasy alone, but from moments in history when the right buyer met the right coin at the right time. In those moments, logic disappears and desire takes over, and that is where unimaginable prices are born. What gives the 1944 P. Wartime Jefferson Nickel its dangerous charm is the fact that it looks ordinary to untrained eyes. It can sit in a drawer, jar, or an old collection without screaming its importance, silently holding the potential to shock its owner if examined under the right expertise. Some collectors believe that the true power of this coin lies not just in silver or condition, but in extreme perfection or extreme abnormality. Coins that break expectations, either flawless beyond belief or strangely unique, become trophies, and trophies are never cheap. This is why experienced collectors warn never to rush, never to sell quickly, and never to trust the first offer when it comes to a wartime Jefferson nickel that looks different, heavier, brighter, or sharper than it should be. The fastest way to lose a fortune is impatience disguised as excitement. The legend surrounding this coin continues to grow because every generation rediscovers it. New collectors enter the market, new wealth appears, and the hunger for historically charged artifacts intensifies. When demand grows but the supply remains frozen in time, prices don't climb, they leap. The 1944 P nickel represents something bigger than money. It represents survival, scarcity, and the unpredictable nature of value. In a world where digital numbers rise and fall in seconds, a small silver-bearing coin from wartime America feels permanent, solid, and powerful. Those who truly understand this coin know that its worth is not printed anywhere. It is negotiated behind closed doors, decided in quiet rooms, and influenced by emotion, pride, and obsession. That is why its highest values are never public knowledge. For someone holding a truly exceptional example, the coin becomes leverage, not currency. It becomes something you protect, research, and move only when the timing feels perfect. Fortunes are not always earned loudly. Sometimes they wait patiently in silence. The magic of the Wartime Jefferson Nickel is that it teaches a dangerous lesson. Never judge value by face, never underestimate history, and never assume small things cannot change big lives. Coins like this don't announce themselves. They reveal themselves. In the end, whether this coin makes someone wealthy overnight or simply wiser, its real power lies in awareness. The moment you understand what you're holding, you stop seeing 5 cents and start seeing possibility, history, and a doorway that only a few ever notice. The 1938 Liberty Buffalo 5-cent coin is one of those coins that feels like it should be magical the moment you hold it, heavy with history, mystery, and the echo of a fading American frontier. It was struck at the very end of the Buffalo nickel era, the final breath of a design that showed raw strength on one side and untamed wilderness on the other. Because it marks the closing chapter in an iconic series, people naturally whisper legends about its value, imagining overnight riches and life-changing fortune hidden in a tiny circle of metal. Here is where the story becomes even more fascinating than the rumors. The 1938 Buffalo nickel with the P mint mark, meaning Philadelphia, is not a silver coin at all. It is made from a copper-nickel alloy, the same sturdy mix used for most U.S. nickels of the time. Yet value in the coin world is not created by silver alone. It is created by survival, condition, demand, and emotional power a coin carries through generations. The year 1938 stands at a turning point in American coinage. This was the last year the Buffalo design was minted before it was replaced by the Jefferson nickel. That fact alone gives the 1938 Buffalo nickel a symbolic weight, like the final page of a legendary book. Collectors love endings almost as much as beginnings, because they freeze a moment forever. Millions of 1938 Buffalo nickels were produced, which means most examples are not rare in the strict numerical sense. But here's a twist that fuels all the excitement. The Buffalo nickel design wore down extremely fast. The date, the horn of the buffalo, and the details of Liberty's hair vanished quickly in circulation. Truly sharp, fully detailed coins are dramatically scarcer than the mintage numbers suggest. A 1938 P Buffalo nickel that has survived in pristine, untouched condition is no ordinary coin. When Liberty's hair strands are bold, the buffalo's horn is fully visible, and the fields shine with original luster, collectors pay serious money. These coins are not about pocket change. They are about preservation against time itself. The dream of unimaginable value comes from the idea of perfection. In the coin world, perfection is rare to the point of obsession. A flawless example, never clean, never damaged, never dulled by circulation, becomes a trophy. While such a coin will not realistically sell for millions, it can still command prices that feel shocking compared to its humble 5-cent face value. Many myths around Buffalo nickels are fueled by truly rare errors from nearby years. The famous 1937 D three-legged buffalo, for example, is genuinely valuable and has sold for huge sums in top condition. Over time, stories of that coin blurred into stories about all Buffalo nickels, including the 1938 P, creating legends of overnight billionaires. What really gives the 1938 P Buffalo nickel power is its role as a gateway coin. It is often the piece that pulls new collectors into the Buffalo series. People see it, research it, and then fall into the deeper world of varieties, mint marks, and grading. That constant demand keeps strong examples desirable year after year. Condition is everything, and this cannot be said loudly enough. A worn 1938 Buffalo nickel is worth only a small premium over face value, but a sharply struck, beautifully preserved coin can multiply in value many times over. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is microscopic, yet financially massive. Another factor is emotional value. Coins like this connect people to a time when America was reshaping itself after the Great Depression. Holding a 1938 Buffalo nickel is like holding the last echo of an era defined by resilience, grit, and hope. Collectors don't just buy metal, they buy stories. The internet is full of exaggerated claims, promising millions and instant fortune. These stories spread fast because people want to believe that treasure hides in plain sight. The truth is quieter but more powerful. Knowledge, patience, and condition are what transform a simple coin into something special. If you own a 1938, P. Buffalo Nickel. The real advice is not to panic sell or believe wild promises. Look at it carefully. Respect it. Understand what you have before making any decision. A coin mishandled or clean can lose most of its value in seconds. The phrase "don't spend it at a low price" still matters, just not in the fairy tale way. Selling without understanding grading, market demand, and authenticity can cost you real money. Education is a true fortune changer here, not superstition. In the end, the 1938 Liberty Buffalo 5-cent coin does not make billionaires overnight, but it does something more enduring. It teaches that value grows where history, rarity of condition, and human fascination meet. That lesson is worth far more than hype. So when you look at a 1938 P. Buffalo Nickel, don't just see 5 cents or viral rumors. See the final heartbeat of a legendary design, a survivor of time, and a reminder that real treasure isn't found in myths, but in understanding what you hold. The 1917 Liberty Buffalo 5-cent coin is one of those coins that looks quiet at first glance, almost ordinary, yet carries a weight of history that makes collectors stop, breathe, and look again. When this coin was born, the world was standing at the edge of war. America was changing fast, and the Buffalo Nickel captured the raw spirit of the nation in a way no coin had done before. That alone gives the 1917 issue a magnetic pull that never fades. This coin is often surrounded by loud rumors, whispered legends, and viral claims that promise overnight riches. The truth is more interesting than the myth. The 1917 P. Buffalo Nickel is not a silver coin, and it was never meant to be. It is struck in a copper-nickel alloy, but what gives it power is not metal content. It is survival, condition, and story. What makes the 1917 Philadelphia Mint coin special is that it came from a Maine mint during one of the busiest and most stressful periods in U.S. mint history. Millions were struck, yes, but very few survived the brutal reality of circulation. Buffalo nickels wore down quickly, and the date was often the first thing to disappear. A 1917 coin with a bold, readable date already steps into a higher class. Then comes a real dividing line: condition. Most 1917 Buffalo nickels you see today are tired, flattened, and silent from decades of use. But the rare survivors, the ones that never saw heavy circulation, feel almost unreal. Sharp horn, full hair detail on the Native American, strong lettering, and clean fields turn a common coin into a collector's prize. There is also quiet excitement around specific die characteristics from 1917. Subtle differences in strikes, pressure, and die were created coins that specialists hunt for years. These are not obvious errors you see in seconds. They're the kind that reward patience, magnification, and experience. That mystery is part of why collectors fall in love with this year. Some people claim that owning a 1917 Buffalo Nickel will make you a billionaire overnight. That is not how real numismatics works. Real value grows through knowledge, not hype. A normal circulated 1917 P coin is affordable, but a superbly preserved example can reach into thousands, and in elite certified grades, even tens of thousands. That is still life-changing money for a 5-cent coin. Where the unimaginable worth idea truly comes alive is in once-in-a-generation condition. A top population, near-perfect specimen becomes a trophy coin. These are the coins that auction houses showcase under dramatic lighting, the one serious collectors compete for, knowing they may never see another like it again. The Buffalo Nickel design itself adds fuel to its desirability. It represents America before highways and skyscrapers, wild, proud, and untamed. Every collector knows that this design is not just art, it is identity. A strong 1917 Buffalo Nickel feels like holding a piece of American soul in your palm. Another reason this coin commands respect is that Buffalo nickels are no longer being made, and the supply can only shrink. Coins are lost, damaged, cleaned, or destroyed every year. Time is quietly working in favor of well-preserved examples, pushing their value upward while demand remains strong. If someone owns a 1917 Buffalo Nickel, the worst mistake is rushing to sell it cheaply without understanding what they have. Cleaning it, polishing it, or trusting unverified buyers can erase decades of value in seconds. The smartest move is patience, education, and proper authentication. True collectors don't chase miracles, they chase facts. A certified coin, properly graded, documented and preserved, becomes an asset rather than a gamble. This is how ordinary coins turn into extraordinary holdings over time. The real power of the 1917 Buffalo nickel is not that it magically creates wealth overnight, but that it rewards respect. Respect for history, for craftsmanship, and for the slow, steady rise of collectible value. Coins like this don't scream. They whisper to those who know how to listen. So if you hold one of these coins, don't dismiss it, but don't believe fairy tales either. Let it be studied, protected, and understood. In the world of serious collectors, truth builds far more wealth than exaggeration ever could. In the end, the 1917 Liberty Buffalo 5-cent coin is a reminder that fortune doesn't always arrive in explosions. Sometimes it grows quietly, year by year, in a small, heavy coin that once passed through countless hands and survived long enough to tell its story to yours. The 1951 Liberty Wheat penny with a D mint mark is not just a coin. It's a portal to history, a shimmering sliver of time that carries stories from the mid-20th century into the modern world. Its humble appearance as a 1-cent coin belies the immense power it holds in the eyes of collectors, historians, and investors alike. Every inch of this penny whispers the tales of post-war America, when the nation was rebuilding, innovating, and dreaming bigger than ever. To the untrained eye, the 1951 D penny may look ordinary, but its mint mark, the small letter D near the bottom of the coin, marks it as a product of the Denver Mint, a facility renowned for precision and limited production runs during that era. This single letter instantly transforms a coin from a mundane piece of currency into a rare treasure, a golden ticket for numismatists who recognize scarcity as the essence of value. What makes this penny truly extraordinary is its condition. A penny from 1951 that has retained its original luster, with minimal wear and no scratches or discoloration, is a rarity. Most coins of this age have endured decades of handling, circulation, and the ravages of time, leaving them dulled and imperfect. Finding a specimen that gleams with a near-mint shine is akin to discovering a diamond in a field of stones. Collectors are drawn to this penny not only for its rarity, but also for its design. The obverse features a familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln, a symbol of freedom, resilience, and the enduring spirit of America. On the reverse, the iconic wheat ears stretch gracefully along each side, symbolizing prosperity and abundance. These elements together make the coin a piece of art, crafted with care and intention, and cherished for both historical and aesthetic value. The 1951 D wheat penny occupies a unique place in American numismatics because it sits at the intersection of history and opportunity. In 1951, the United States was emerging from the shadows of World War II, entering an era of economic expansion and cultural evolution. Each penny minted that year carried not just monetary value, but also a story of resilience, national pride, and hope for the future. In today's market, the demand for high-quality 1951 D wheat pennies has skyrocketed. Enthusiasts, investors, and collectors compete fiercely to acquire specimens in the finest condition. The rarity of well-preserved coins pushes prices into astonishing territory, and in extreme cases, particularly flawless examples can command values that rival investments worth millions. Owning one of these coins isn't just a hobby. It's an opportunity to possess a tangible piece of wealth with potential for life-changing returns. Numismatic experts often point out that the Denver Mint, in 1951, produced fewer coins compared to other mints, which add an element of scarcity. While millions of pennies were minted overall, the subset that carries the D mint mark is significantly smaller, and those that survive in top condition are rarer still. This scarcity drives competitive bidding and has fueled intense interest among collectors worldwide. The coin's allure is enhanced by its symbolic resonance. Abraham Lincoln represents more than a president. He embodies ideals of leadership, courage, and the fight for justice. The wheat stalks, meanwhile, evoke abundance and growth. Together, they make the penny a miniature monument, a piece of storytelling frozen in metal. Each glance at the coin reminds its holder of the nation's journey and their own connection to history. Owning a 1951 D wheat penny in exceptional condition is akin to holding a lottery ticket whose odds improve with time. Unlike paper investments or stocks, which fluctuate with market sentiment, a tangible coin like this gains intrinsic value as years pass and mint quality examples become scarcer. It is a physical, indestructible asset that combines history, beauty, and financial potential. Collectors often describe the experience of acquiring such a penny as a mix of thrill, reverence, and satisfaction. The process is never just about money. It's about the story, the provenance, and the meticulous search for perfection. The first sight of a high-grade 1951D penny, with its sharp relief, rich copper hue, and flawless strike, can elicit awe, like witnessing a rare gemstone under the light for the very first time. The coin also offers an educational journey. Learning about its production, the metals used, and the minting process in Denver allows collectors to appreciate the precision and craftsmanship involved. Unlike modern mass-produced coins, these pennies were struck with care, often showing subtle variations that hint at the human hands and machines that created them decades ago. Market trends show that the 1951D wheat penny has steadily increased in value over the past decades. What might have been worth a few dollars to an average collector in the 1970s now holds staggering worth in today's market. This trajectory is a testament to both its rarity and enduring fascination with Lincoln wheat pennies among numismatists globally. One cannot overstate the importance of grading. Coins are meticulously assessed for wear, color, luster, and strike sharpness. A penny graded as MS65, mint state 65, or higher is considered exceptionally rare, often selling for multiples of its face value in collector auctions. The slightest imperfection can dramatically alter the market value, which underscores the need for careful handling and authentication. Owning such a coin is also an emotional experience. Beyond dollars and cents, it carries the pride of being a custodian of history. Generations of Americans have touched, traded, and treasured pennies like this one. To hold it is to touch the past, connecting oneself to a lineage of collectors who value these small, humble pieces for far more than their monetary worth. The 1951D wheat penny also has immense investment potential. Unlike paper assets that can disappear overnight, a physical coin is immune to digital crashes or financial manipulations. Its value is preserved in the metal, the mint mark, and the history embedded in its very being. For savvy collectors, it's not just a coin. It's a vehicle for financial empowerment. This penny's power to change fortune is legendary in collector circles. Stories abound of ordinary individuals discovering a single, near-perfect coin in jars, drawers, or old collections, only to find themselves holding an asset worth a small fortune. The 1951D wheat penny is one such coin, capable of transforming wealth in ways that are almost mythical. Yet, the coin is not just about speculation. Its beauty, historical significance, and meticulous craftsmanship make it a timeless object of admiration. Many collectors display these coins in frames or protective holders, not to sell, but to enjoy daily, appreciating the artistry and legacy captured in each copper alloy. For the serious collector, acquiring a 1951D wheat penny is both a challenge and a triumph. It requires patience, knowledge, and a keen eye for authenticity. But the reward is immense. Not just in potential financial gain, but in the pride of preserving a piece of American history for future generations. As time marches on, fewer pennies survive in pristine condition, and the rarity of the 1951D wheat penny grows exponentially. Its value, therefore, is not static but dynamic, increasing as each passing year claims more of the lesser preserved coins. To own one today is to claim a piece of a dwindling legacy, a crown jewel in any collection. Finally, the 1951D wheat penny is more than just copper in history. It is a testament to vision, legacy, and enduring value. It reminds us that even the smallest objects can hold immense significance, that rarity and beauty often intersect in the most unexpected ways, and that careful guardianship of history can, quite literally, transform a person's fortune overnight. In the world of numismatics, this penny is a king, a legend, and a treasure that commands respect, admiration, and awe. The 1953 Liberty wheat penny from the Denver Mint is not just a coin. It's a vessel of history, whispering stories amid 20th century America. Its coppery shine holds decades of memory, carrying the imprint of a nation rebounding from war and stepping into a new era of prosperity. For collectors, this penny is far more than its face value. It is a talisman of fortune and an emblem of rare beauty. Minted in Denver, the D mark signifies not just location, but a lineage of precision craftsmanship. Coins from this mint often carry subtle differences in strike and finish, making each specimen a unique artifact. Among these variations, the 1953 penny stands out, shimmering with a quiet brilliance that can transform a collection from ordinary to legendary. The wheat penny design itself is iconic. Its reverse, adorned with two stalks of wheat, embodies abundance, growth, and the hard work of ordinary Americans. Every curve and line is carefully etched, representing a period when artistry met utility. For a coin enthusiast, this symbolism elevates the 1953 penny from mere currency to a miniature monument. Over the decades, the copper surface has aged gracefully, acquiring a patina that speaks of time itself. The richness of this hue can vary. Some coins bear a reddish tint that seems to glow, while others carry a deep brown warmth, reflecting decades of history and careful preservation. Each penny's color tells its own story, making it an intimate companion for the collector. Condition is everything in the world of rare coins, and the 1953 wheat penny rewards those who recognize its subtle signs of perfection. Mint state examples, untouched by circulation, can be astonishingly valuable, offering collectors a glimpse of America's past in pristine form. Even coins with minor were a treasure for their rarity and historical resonance. This penny is not merely a collector's item. It is a potential fortune. In today's market, a perfectly preserved 1953 wheat penny can fetch prices that astound the uninitiated. Its value is not just in metal or rarity, but in the emotional power it wields. Holding one is like gripping a fragment of history that has survived wars, inflation, and the passage of generations. The market for such coins has grown dramatically. Enthusiasts, investors, and historians alike compete to own these treasures. Auctions often see dramatic bidding, reflecting the intense desire to possess not just a coin, but a story, a legacy, a slice of time immortalized in copper. A single penny from 1953 can open doors to unimaginable wealth for the discerning collector. Its rarity is subtle, hidden in plain sight. Millions of pennies were minted in 1953, yet the ones that have survived in exceptional condition are few. Many were lost to circulation, melted down, or simply worn beyond recognition. This scarcity elevates the 1953 penny to the status of a modern-day alchemist's dream, a small object with the power to generate incredible value. Collectors often talk about the eye appeal of this coin. Beyond technical grading, the way light dances across the copper surface, highlighting the wheat stalks in Liberty's profile, can be mesmerizing. A penny that catches the light perfectly can spark fascination, drawing collectors into a silent conversation with history. The 1953 penny is also a study in precision minting. Tiny differences in die strikes, slight variations in thickness, and minute imperfections make each coin a unique specimen. These subtleties can make the difference between a moderately valuable coin and a truly extraordinary one, treasured by collectors for decades. Many owners of this penny describe an almost magical connection. Holding it evokes images of 1950s America, children playing in suburban yards, families gathering around radios, and a nation stepping into modernity. It's a tangible link to a world long past, yet preserved in copper, waiting patiently for the right hands to appreciate its significance. The coin's potential for wealth is legendary. Stories circulate of humble collections suddenly transformed into fortunes when the right 1953 penny is discovered. Its value can climb to levels that seem impossible for a coin that once bought candy or stamps, illustrating the unpredictable magic of numismatic investment. This penny is also a challenge. Many collectors spend years searching for a 1953 in mint condition. Patience, knowledge, and persistence are required, but the reward is immense. Not just financial gain, but the satisfaction of uncovering a rare treasure that has survived the relentless wear of time. The copper content, though modest in metal value, is a backdrop to the true allure, history. Each coin carries microscopic traces of its journey through pockets, drawers, and collections. These traces are a silent testament to endurance, patience, and the fleeting nature of everyday objects that, in rare cases, become eternal. Artistry meets storytelling in this penny. The obverse, featuring the profile of Liberty, reflects a timeless ideal of freedom and resilience. Every line of the design was carefully considered, intended to convey dignity, strength, and hope. In a small copper disc, one finds echoes of national pride and human aspiration. Investing in this penny is not just about money. It is about stewardship. Each owner becomes a caretaker of history, preserving a delicate artifact for the next generation. The coin is a bridge connecting past and future, with each transaction or display reinforcing its legacy. Its value can fluctuate, yet the 1953 DeWitt penny remains a cornerstone of any serious collection. Even during market dips, collectors recognize its significance, ensuring that it remains a sought-after gem. Its allure is both aesthetic and financial, a dual magnet drawing admirers and investors alike. For those who discover one, the experience can be life-changing. Holding this coin, imagining its journey through decades, and knowing its rarity can evoke excitement akin to discovering buried treasure. It is both humbling and thrilling, a reminder that small things can hold unimaginable power. The 1953 DeWitt penny is more than copper. It is a story, a treasure, and a legacy. Its presence in a collection elevates everything around it, commanding attention, admiration, and respect. Even a casual observer can sense its weight, both literal and symbolic. In conclusion, the 1953 Liberty Wheat penny from the Denver Mint is a marvel of history, artistry, and potential wealth. Its copper gleam hides layers of stories, and its rarity promises rewards that extend beyond mere money. For anyone fortunate enough to own one, it is a constant reminder that even the smallest object can carry the greatest fortune. Finally, this penny is an invitation. An invitation to appreciate history, to invest wisely, and to dream boldly. It asks the collector to look beyond face value and see a universe of possibility. In its quiet brilliance, it reminds us that fortune favors not only the wealthy, but the wise and patient. Imagine holding in your palm a tiny copper circle that looks ordinary to the careless eye, yet whispers the secret language of destiny to those who know how to listen. The 1961 Canadian 1-cent coin bearing Queen Elizabeth II is not just small change in the past. It is a time capsule of an era when nations reshaped their identities, mints refined their craft, and rare mistakes quietly slipped into circulation. Somewhere among millions of ordinary pennies, a handful were born under extraordinary conditions, destined to become legends of numismatic lore. In 1961, Canada's minting presses were working with youthful energy, striking coins for a new generation under the newly crowned image of Elizabeth II. Most pennies rolled out perfectly ordinary, copper tokens meant for pocket change. Yet in the world of coin collecting, perfection is common, rarity is king. Tiny variations in metal composition, die alignment, or planchet preparation can transform a 1-cent coin into a crown jewel that collectors chase with relentless passion. Some 1961 cents emerge with unusual strike characteristics, sharper portraits, deeper lettering, or minute-dyed differences unseen by the average person. These subtle distinctions separate everyday coins from specimens that command attention in elite auctions. In the secret chambers of collectors' cabinets, such pennies are treated like miniature paintings, sealed in protective holders, admired under bright lights, and discussed in hushed voices like sacred relics. Then there are the mythical errors, the off-center strikes, the double impressions, the ghostly extra lines in the Queen's portrait or date. These mistakes are not flaws in the eyes of collectors. They are miracles of chance. When such an error survives decades of circulation and reappears in high condition, it can spark bidding wars that feel less like shopping and more like witnessing a battle for ownership of history itself. Condition is a silent amplifier of value. A worn 1961 penny is a humble traveler of commerce, but a flawless one, preserved untouched since birth, gleams like a freshly discovered artifact. In mint state condition, every microscopic detail, from the delicate curls in Elizabeth's hair to the crisp maple leaves, can multiply desirability many times over. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary can be thinner than a human hair. Collectors are driven not only by money, but by emotion, the thrill of the hunt, the pride of ownership, the satisfaction of holding something few others on earth possess. When a rare 1961 cent with special characteristics appears on the market, excitement spreads instantly through collector circles. Phones buzz, auction rooms fill, hearts race. The coin may be tiny, but the energy around it feels immense. Stories circulate of people discovering valuable coins in inherited jars, old drawers, or forgotten collections. These tales fuel dreams, the belief that fortune might be hiding in plain sight. And while most pennies will never buy a mansion, the rare exceptional ones have indeed sold for impressive sums, enough to change a collector's life, fund businesses, or secure legacies for families. This is why patience and knowledge are the real treasure tools. Selling a rare coin without understanding its uniqueness can mean losing its true potential. Authentication, grading, and expert valuation are the keys that unlock real value. A coin dismissed too quickly may carry a story and a price far beyond imagination. So if someone believes they possess a special 1961 Elizabeth Canadian cent, the true power lies not in rushing to spend it, but in learning its secrets. Under magnification, under professional eyes, under the bright lamps of collectors' halls, the coin reveals its destiny. Some remain simple pennies. Others rise as silent royalty of the numismatic world. In the end, this tiny copper disc teaches a grand lesson. Fortune does not always roar. Sometimes it whispers from the bottom of an old box, waiting for the curious hand to lift it into the light. Not every 1961 cent is a treasure, but the rare exceptional ones remind us that history, chance, and patience can combine to turn ordinary metal into extraordinary legacy. The 2005 Elizabeth II Canadian 1-cent coin appears ordinary at first glance, bearing the familiar royal portrait and the iconic maple leaf design. Yet behind this humble appearance lies a story that has ignited the imagination of collectors, treasure hunters, and everyday people who dream of discovering hidden wealth in their own pockets. What makes the 2005 cent special is not that every coin is rare, but that a handful of unusual mint variations and production anomalies from that year have become legends among collectors. When the Royal Canadian Mint shifted production methods and experimented with different finishes, a small number of cents were struck with subtle differences, sharper details, mirror-like fields, or unusual metal planchet behavior. These tiny differences, invisible to the untrained eye, can transform a simple penny into a prized collectible. Many people mistakenly believe these coins are made of silver, but the truth is even more fascinating. The 2005 Canadian 1-cent coin is primarily copper-plated steel, yet certain rare error strikes and special presentation pieces were produced under controlled conditions that give them an extraordinary appearance and premium desirability. It is not the metal value that creates the fortune. It is rarity, condition, and collector demand that breathe high value into these small discs. Imagine opening an old jar of coins inherited from a relative, your fingers brushing past hundreds of ordinary cents, until one gleams differently under the light. A sharper maple leaf, a smoother portrait, a proof-like shine, or a slight doubling in the design. These are the clues that make hearts race. In the right condition, such a rare variety can fetch astonishing prices at auctions, not because of hype, but because collectors fiercely compete for the few known examples. Stories circulate in the collector community of people who unknowingly spent rare cents on groceries, never realizing what slipped through their hands. That is why experienced collectors always say, never rush to sell a suspiciously unusual coin at face value. What seems like pocket change today could be the missing piece in a high-end collection tomorrow, commanding prices that feel unreal to ordinary minds. However, true fortune does not come from believing every cent is a jackpot. It comes from knowledge, patience, and careful examination. A genuine rare 2005 Elizabeth II cent must be authenticated by experts, graded for condition, and confirmed as a recognized variety or error. Only then does the coin step onto the stage of serious numismatic value, where real money speaks and myths fall away. The thrill of the hunt is what keeps collectors searching rolls, drawers, and forgotten boxes. Every small coin carries a possibility, a silent question. Am I ordinary or am I one of the few? That uncertainty is the heartbeat of numismatics. The belief that treasure might be hiding in plain sight, waiting for the curious and the persistent. If you ever find a 2005 Canadian cent that looks different, unusually shiny, sharply detailed, or strangely struck, resist the temptation to dismiss it. Protect it, research it, and seek professional evaluation. Selling too quickly without knowledge is the true loss, not the coin itself. The real power of such a discovery is not just money. It is the transformation perspective, the realization that history, craftsmanship, and rarity can sit quietly in your hand, disguised as something ordinary. That moment of discovery is priceless, whether the coin sells for hundreds, thousands, or simply becomes a treasured personal find. So the next time you hear the faint clink of a cent, remember, legends are not born from every coin, but from the rare few that slip through time almost unnoticed. And for those who recognize them, that tiny 2005 Elizabeth II Canadian cent may not make you a billionaire overnight, but it can open the door to a world where small things carry astonishing stories and unexpected value.